So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined once again by the former undefeated British cruiserweight champion, Richard Riakporhe. Richard, how you doing?
Yeah, very good. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing very well, thank you. We last
Good.
spoke in December. We caught up on all things Richard Riakporhe related.
Yeah.
But there's still no fight date, or at least not to common knowledge. What's going on? Why have we not seen you out in the last, year and 3 months now?
So basically, I've been training for a fight next week for the 27th of February, and we're just trying to confirm one opponent, and that's where we are now. So just knuckling down and getting ready, and just waiting to kind of push it out there. That's why I've been pretty quiet. But hopefully we can get some news in a couple of days.
How tough is that, not knowing who the opponent's going to be with such a short time left to prepare? Because you've already done most of your sparring, presumably, without knowing for certain who it's going to be.
Well, it's pretty difficult, of course. But, once you've, from the amateurs, you go into championships, you don't know what type of style you're going to encounter. So with that type of experience, it's not really that much of a problem. Most of the fighters are short, and most of the fighters have a certain type of style, so you can adapt quickly.
And this has been your first full camp, if you like, or at least preparing for a specific fight with Angel Fernandez in Loughborough. How's that gone so far? What do you feel it's added to you going forward?
It's gone pretty well. Just rectifying some issues which I've showed in my last few fights, and just getting the simple things right. We're not doing too much, trying to throw a million combinations and stuff, but just keeping it nice and simple, and that's the type of fighter I am. I'm an aggressive fighter / boxer, and it's all about just kind of developing or adding to it just a little bit and working on the strengths that I already have. So, there's not a lot that we have to do, but just kind of just refine certain things. So it's been going really well so far.
How easy has it been with Loughborough being a university, but also based around elite sport, coming and going as you please during the lockdown and the pandemic and so on?
To be honest, it's been great because we haven't had the restrictions set upon us like the other people all over the UK. We was able to train throughout lockdown. We can use the gym at any time pretty much, but when it comes to, let's say, late evening, that's when they will close the gym, whereas normally it would run on till like really late. But apart from that, it's been pretty fine. I'd say I'm really fortunate to have been training in the facility.
What about in terms of sparring? Have you been able to get in the kind of caliber of sparring partner that you're used to?
I think that's been very challenging because a lot of people haven't been training as I have been. A lot of people are out of shape. Obviously distance as well. Some people just don't like driving up. But I've been kind of speaking to people from up north, and down we're kind of right in the middle because there's a lot of cruiserweight fighters up there. But I've been sparring with a lot of heavyweights. I've been working with Fraser Clark a lot. Fraser Clark is just around the corner from me, so we do tons of sparring, and that's been great. And he's very intelligent, very good fighter. Going to Olympics, he should medal as well. So it's been pretty decent. And then there's times where I fly down to London and spar with some other cruiserweight fighters and stuff down there. So it's not been too bad, to be fair.
And are you staying up in Loughborough now? Have you got a place up there that you can stay in during camp?
Yeah, I have a place up there, so that's where I am now. And sometimes I'm just pretty much back and forth.
And are you finding there's enough space to go around with all the trainers you've got?
Yeah. I'm a proper sneakerhead, so yeah, there's enough.
The frame is like 25% shoes.
Where?
I like it. You're repping the brand, and you get all your footwear needs provided for. What could be better?
Of course, it's a blessing to have such an iconic brand to back you and back your journey, and it's motivation for anybody else that wants to really do something with themselves, with their lives, especially considering my background and stuff and how I came into the game. Anything is possible, and that's good.
How did that come about? Because as you say, fighters struggle to get sponsorship. You've got a huge, well-known brand backing you, Adidas affiliated with sport as well. Really great fit. How did it all come together?
I had a few brands looking at me. I was champion. I was working with champion. That I think you saw my last fight. I came out with champion gear and stuff, and Adidas were pretty interested from a while back. To be fair, they're actually watching me for about coming up to 2 years prior to us getting things down. But they've, I fitted the brand in their eyes. They saw I wore, I liked the gear, and then they made contact. And it was just a thing where we couldn't really get straight over the line when we did it because of the pandemic. So it delayed it for a period of time, but then we still got over during the pandemic, which was great. But yeah, it's like a dream come true. I dreamed of flipping getting trainers for free from my mates. I remember flipping like borrowing my friends' Predators, to play football, and there were like a few sizes less than my size, lower than my size, but I still used to flip and squeeze my feet in there. And now I'm getting Adidas kit and stuff sent at will. It's trust me, it's surreal. It hasn't really sunk in yet properly because you have to bear in mind everything has been locked down. Nobody's been able to do anything. So the campaigns which we would normally be doing, we haven't been doing it. So when things open up, you'll see a lot more of me in different things, and we've got some big plans to, give back to the community because that's what it's about. And that's why I really love Adidas, because they're all about community and building, especially in London.
Do you think that's one of the reasons why they singled you out as well, the work you do in the community, the way you've turned your life around, the kind of whole journey and backstory?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That was definitely a big factor. And also they believed I was the best cruiserweight in the world. So yeah, that helped for sure.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about kind of ambitions on the cruiserweight stage, if everything goes well in Gibraltar at the end of this month, how do you see the rest of 2021 panning out for you? So kind of how many fights, what direction are you going to go in?
You know what? We've been trying to, line up a few fights, and fighters were willing to take the fight, but they weren't ready. Big eliminators for world title. So listen, and they are still up for taking fights. So it's trust me, it can get really, really interesting, like real quick. That's the great thing. So that's why I've just been knuckling down and getting myself prepared as much as I can, because I know when things open up, things just can blow up just like that. Coley's fighting for a world title. Good luck to him. He wins that title. It's going to create a lot of interest in the UK cruiserweights. There's a lot of people watching me now, and it's like you could just say like this year could be just one of those years where you just like 100,000x, everything changed just like that. Life changes just like that. So I'm just doing my best to prepare myself diligently in every way possible, because I want the gold.
When I spoke to you in December, you were looking to get out on the Povetkin White rematch card then when it was scheduled for the end of January. And you said you're in talks for a fight that if it came off would be a really exciting fight for the fans. Now that didn't happen. Can you tell us who that was going to be against?
I'm just trying to think what fight was that.
If you can remember who it was going to be against.
I actually forgot who it was exactly. I forgot.
All right.
There's a few. There's a lot of European fighters that they were mentioning. My team were mentioning to me, and oh man, I can't believe I forgot. It's funny. I tell you, Danny, like in this game, you would think that everybody's just up for a fight. Let's go. There's money on the table. There's time for you to prepare. Let's take the fight. Let's make it happen. It's opportunity for everybody, and the thing is, a lot of people, for one reason or another, they'll turn down the fight. It just makes you wonder, like, what is the reason behind that? Like, why would you want to turn down a big opportunity like that to be on pay-per-view, make a lot of money, you know, fight for titles as well, you know, eliminators to put you in a better position. But, you know, I just feel like a lot of them are scared, honestly. You know, they probably see some faults in me and they think, you know what, but you can punch. So a lot of people don't like to fight punches. That's one thing I noticed about this game. I don't blame it anyway. So, yeah.
From one puncher to another, you mentioned earlier Lawrence Okolie going for the WBO title this weekend and the interest that could create if he gets the job done. How do you assess that fight between him and Glovatsky?
I think Coley's going to come in. He's going to use his range, distance. He's going to be pretty relaxed. Glovatsky, he's a veteran. You know, he's been in the game for a long time. He's going to definitely try to close that range and try to throw his hands. But I think by doing that, he's going to leave himself very vulnerable. You know, Coley's very fast on his feet, and he's good with his reaction time. He can get clocked with a big shot. It could be all over, like, real fast. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he deals with that. And from the fights I've seen before, especially with like Usyk and stuff, he seems pretty like one-dimensional. He will try the same thing, then he'll try the same thing again, and try the same thing again. And I feel like, you know, Lawrence will have a bit more for him. He will definitely have more for him to give him. And yeah, he should be able to get a win. I remember, I think he used to beat him on his 10th fight, 10th or 11th fight.
So, 10th or 11th.
No, you know, so, you know, that just shows. I think Glovatsky is a type of fight. He fights with his heart. You know what I mean? And the brain kind of less of the brain, the boxing IQ. You know, but he can punch at the same time, so he's still dangerous and he's got heart, which a lot of fighters don't have. So he will always have a chance in that fight. So it could be a really good fight, or he could get cleaned out early. And I think his mileage is a bit too high right now. His mileage is, you know, I don't know how old he is. I think he's about 35. He's been in wars. He's been in wars, Huck, you know, Usyk. So many fights. So he's fought everybody, pretty much.
Breedis,
so,
that controversial fight with Breedis as well.
Breedis that lost. But listen, it's in the game of boxing, you know, it's wear and tear on the body. And once you get to a certain point, you know, you think you're good, you feel great. But then when you go in there, then you just don't feel the same. And, you know, you can't beat time. It's just one of those things. That's why everybody's just really, the odds are in the favor of Lawrence, in other words. Yeah.
In an ideal world, would you pick up a world title of your own before the fight between you and Okolie happens? It's a great fight for Britain. We all want to see it. But from financial standpoint, and also how big the fight could be as an attraction, would you like to go out and win your own belt and then it becomes a unification?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what we were planning to do anyway. You know, a lot of people don't really put respect on the IBO, but there was an opportunity for me to actually fight for the IBO. But due to COVID, that got pushed back against Kevin Lorena. You know, there's opportunities there. There's opportunities there to get the fights. I'll win the title. We clash. And that's it. I'm in the WBA rankings as well. There's opportunities to fight in the IBF for eliminated. So listen, there's, you know, and it's vacant at the same time. So ideally, that's what we want, where we can make as much as we can financially. And, you know, it's all the marbles, you know, it'll make it it will be like a Enzo versus David Haye once again. You know, that would be amazing, you know, but you just don't know. You just don't know. As long as there's a title on the line, that's the most important thing. You know, I think we've passed the stage, you know, wanting to fight each other for like European titles and stuff. It has to be for, you know, the big thing, because it's a dangerous fight for both. You know, but knockout power, anybody can go in that fight. So we need to get the most that we can.
Yeah. How much does that kind of motivate you? Not Lawrence specifically, but having a kind of British rival and having that domestic super fight, if you like.
Yeah, it's good. It's good motivation, because every single day I want to better myself in every way I can, mentally, physically, you know, when in regards to rest, everything. And that's how, you know, you could take control of of the potential outcome of that fight. It all starts here. It all starts with what we're doing in the lead up to the fights, and it could be a few fights even prior to that. How we're living as athletes. Because a lot of people, like a lot of the boxing fans, when they judge fighters and a result and the outcome of a fight, they always talk about the skill aspects. Okay, fine. A lot of them don't know that it's not just about skill; it's lifestyle. It's psychology. If a fighter has all the skills and he's not right mentally, or he didn't live the life of an athlete, he'll get beat by an average fighter, and that's just the way it is. And that's what makes boxing so exciting. That's why you see people like Richard Riakporhe just come in and beat the odds. You know what I mean? Because I like to believe I take it seriously. You know what I mean? And try to live the life as much as I can. So, and plus, to be honest, I haven't done it, the best of my ability in the past, which has showed me that, listen, if I really knuckle down, just imagine what more I could achieve out of the sport. Just imagine. And that just spurs me on all the time. That spurs me on every single day.
And Chris Bilham-Smith, who's probably the best victory at the moment on your record, he's in action at the weekend as well. Every time he fights now, it just seems to make that victory look even better for you. Are you kind of, when you watch him, are you kind of backing him to win each time because you know how it reflects?
Well, no, not really. To be honest, I don't even think about them, Danny. I focus on myself. I don't reflect on those victories. If you start to think like that, I feel that would affect you as a boxer and it'll affect your development, because I don't like to watch people's CVs and look and think, oh my gosh, you beat this guy. He was on form here. I don't know if I can take him and stuff, because if that same boxer, who beat these people and looked amazing is not living the lifestyle of a fighter, that CV don't mean nothing. I'll go and smash that guy. You know what I mean? Trust me. And I have that confidence because I've seen it before. I've seen people that have great records, and you jump in them and you think they don't have anything. They don't have anything. And that's why you see like certain fighters calling out other fighters, because they know they've got something on them. But CBS, he's a great fighter. Tom McCarthy's looking, he's doing well. European champion. 100%. He's always been a good fighter. I've always had respect for CBS. I didn't really have too much respect for him though prior to that fight, but after fighting him and stuff, yeah, he gained. I've got his respect now. I respect him now. So, but yeah, it's all good. Everybody's doing their thing, and it's quite competitive. The cruiserweight division could be a very interesting division within the next 12 to 18 months, even sooner than that, because if everybody's mixing and everybody's at that stage, Tom McCarthy, European champion, Lawrence Okolie, world champion, Richard Riakporhe beat the European champion, and whatever CBS achieved in the past, it's like flipping out. We're like those guys. Like we can watch, the boxing fans could watch us, and they know that once we do fight, if we do fight again, we're coming to win. It's not just about the money. It's not just about the accolades and the belts, but it's pride. It's personal, and that's always a good recipe for good competition, So it's interesting. It's good. It's exciting.
Great stuff. Well, I really appreciate your time. Hopefully we can catch up again when your next opponent is confirmed, before you go to Gibraltar or while you're out there.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let you know, and we'll do this again.
All right, wicked.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Really
all right, cheers, Danny.
Take care. Man. Speak soon.
Cheers.